This is my Honda Accord, and it was in an accident. A pretty bad one at that. So, without any experience, I'm gonna rip apart the broken pieces and fix it. This is so freaking stupid. Oh my gosh! I'm so excited. Ah! It is well damaged and not pretty.
It's widowy getting serious.
This is where we're gonna have to make our cuts. The spot welds are going to be removed from the strut tower area, and then I'm gonna get my favorite tool to officially separate the two. Remember that we don't need the strut tower area because that was already measured and it's intact. And she's off. Just like that. This is the old member, and you can just see how big of a difference it is with the crash. We still have to clean up all right here. We're probably gonna get a Dremel for that, and then sand what else we can't take care of. But even if this were done, we still have to prep the front of the car and clean up all the poor work over there. Plus, we have to fix the front radiator support. Dude, this takes forever! Ah! The biggest thing when welding in new pieces to anything is the material on the surface has to be clean. So we're gonna bend out these with a hammer and a mallet, grind them down with a grinder to make sure that they're straight and ready to be welded to. The radiator support arm goes out, and this doesn't necessarily need to be fixed, but I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to this. This section right over by the tower has to be fixed and adjusted perfectly so that we can get the new member in. We're gonna take this off because I'm going to weld this to this. This will butt up perfectly with that. A million different micro adjustments need to be made to make sure it fits perfectly. With this plate, we're still keeping it, so we're trying to remove as little material as possible just to get it disconnected from the main apron member. The less damage that we can do, the better. Ah! Gentle! Good news, that lines up exactly where the old plate lines up. I used this hole and these curves, I lined it up onto the new member and just marked it with the red Sharpie. You can see on this where the red was marked, and that is where it is. Like, that is perfect. We're not going to call it there yet because even though it is being held in place, we're going to undo the passenger side fender and we're going to cross-reference a whole bunch of different stuff. That new member has these exact same holes, so we're gonna use that as our reference point. 15 1/4 on the first hole. It's about 17 1/8 on the second. This is about 22 1/8. We've got about 5/8. We're gonna measure, remeasure 3 more times as we're welding. This is gonna be a pain to get. The bracket is gonna be a pain because a lot of these holes aren't lining up. Once I get it tack welded here and down here, then we can use the vice grips to help me right there. One more measure, okay? 15 1/4, 17 1/8, 22 on the nose. Distance between this panel is 9/16. First time welding a car. Here we go. I didn't even weld it. Every weld has to be meticulously calculated. Right now, I'm just tack welding it, which is just giving a little bit of a melting point for both of the pieces to bond together. Once we have them welded, we're going to clean them up with a wire brush and check to make sure that it's actually holding. Using a wire brush to keep the surface clean is important, as this can rust very easily because it's bare metal. She's not moving, I'm scared. After each of the welds are made, they all have to be ground down. They're not the prettiest, but the good news is this is a non-structural piece, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to clean them up with a wire brush attached to the drill, just to do the best that we can. Next, I'm going to come in with some primer, and this is going to give the paint a surface to bond to, and this also has properties in it that will help prevent any potential rusting even more. We want to cover every spot where there is a weld first. There's an access hole through the inside, right here, that allows me to get where this weld was, as well as the weld on the other side. So these are definitely not going to rust. Next, I grabbed some Bondo and just whipped up a quick little batch to clean up the top of the cross member, because again, I'm a perfectionist. It doesn't need to be done, but it just helps it look a little bit better.
This is our last piece. And this, how does this even go? This goes right in here like this, kind of. This hole has to line up with this bolt through this side. This has to fit perfectly, or I'm in trouble. So far, so good. The car is now wrapped and she is just about ready for paint. But before we do that, it's putting another coat of primer on it, letting that set. Then it is doing the seam sealer, putting that in all of the specific locations. Then, officially, we paint this. But she's about to look like she was never damaged in the first place.
Before the seam sealer can go on, we have to do another round of prepping.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Holy cow, dude. This is a freaking arm workout, man.
This is just to prevent any water or moisture from entering into the cracks. You can never do too much, but this is one of the big things with repairing a car and doing the metal work on it. You have to make sure that it can't rust. I'm doing another coat with the same primer just to make sure that everywhere is covered, including the new seam sealer, so that when the paint goes on, it goes on very easily. But it's Home Depot paint, so I think we'll be good.
And now the frame is painted. Right now it looks like it's color matching, but we're gonna have to take off the cover right here to see if it actually is matching. Here we go. Let's see how she looks. Okay, so those are two very different colors, which is not ideal, but the thing is, these were not made to match exactly. They were made to be as close as possible. And now that I'm thinking about it more, maybe I do need to repaint it. That's a really big difference. I was really hoping that would be relatively close, but it's not. With the new frame in, it's painted. Yes, it's going to need to be repainted because it's a well different color than I thought. It looked very close doing it over here by the door, but it's just going to need to be repainted because if you look up here, those are not the same color, and they're not even close. We'll get a specialty paint can. I thought that I could bypass it just by getting something from Home Depot, but looks like I can't, so we'll just get an actual spray paint can with the actual paint code color so that we can get it done. But now, we have to actually put the car back together. Both the driver's side, we have to redo the passenger side, we still have to fix the seatbelt on the interior, put on all of the new parts, and actually get the car working. But that's going to be for next time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Cheers.